don't know what it was that compelled me to revisit Battlefront 2, perhaps because it was a pretty fun casual sci-fi shooter back in the day. Notice how I used the word was? Well, that was intentional, because the first match I joined, Supremacy on Kashyyyk, a guy on the team was flying around as Chewbacca, killing everything. Flying, like I mean literally hovering across the map. He was able to shoot down everyone. And it actually enabled us to dominate every capture point on the map. So, like any reasonable person would do in this situation, I decided to eject myself out of that lobby, and I decided to hop into Heroes vs Villains to see what that's like these days. And to my surprise, there was no nice words to be said between players. Everyone seemed to be very toxic and try-hardish, if that's a word. I'm guessing it is now because I just said it. Battlefront 2 was always a little more of a sweaty game compared to, say, Battlefront 1, but it was always fairly chill, especially when you compare it to like a very competitive game like, say, Overwatch, where that game's toxicity levels is an all-time high. It's like Battlefield, in a sense, at the minute, Battlefront 2, but with like a little extra salt sprinkled on top. And I think that's partly down to DICE pulling support for the game. It's kind of now dwindling out of relevancy, and the lack of new content is kind of just reducing the player base down to its dedicated few. That comes with obviously ups and downs. The ups is you'll have consistent numbers for quite a long time on most game modes you want to play, however there will be more toxicity than there used to be. Some players, for whatever reason, they take the game incredibly seriously, for some reason which kind of just pulls the fun out of the game. You know, like they have to sweat out the most overpowered characters to make sure you just get crushed. Like, where's the fun element to this game? Where's it gone? Like, why don't people just pick the fun characters? Well, you know, even if they're not necessarily the best ones or they're not particularly good at a character, they just play a character that is just strong, that they have the most upgraded star cards for, so they can just dominate you. And I don't know, I mean, as someone who's not really played a huge amount of the game, like I've played over 100 hours of Battlefront 2 since it came out, which isn't a lot, really, when you think about it. It's like a few days. Maybe it's like 200 hours, I don't know, I can't remember exactly. But it's not enough to have everything like maxed out and be, you know, really, you know, have a lot of game sense, if you know what I mean. Like I play it so casually. So when I go up against people like that, it's just like, it's not fun because you just get crapped on constantly. It seems quite hard to find fun these days in the game, and I only have, you know, a brief few moments of actual enjoyment in between being killed repeatedly. I do hope that if and when a Battlefront 3 gets made, that it's aimed more at a casual audience, and by casual I mean less skilled, because you know, it goes back to the same old thing I refer to in these like occasional videos I post. Battlefront 2015 had a great sense of fun. It felt loads more casual. It's hard to describe why, but it did. Like it just felt more like you could just sit back and, you know, have a beer or something whilst playing, and it didn't really matter if you particularly were good. I think maybe because it's like there was less of a focus on the combat side of things, I guess, and more of an immersion in the world of Star Wars. Like, you know, it just didn't seem like, I mean, they didn't think too much on the combat, especially with the lightsaber combat. I mean, it was literally just slash at each other, like hit each other until the first person dropped. That was kind of how it was, and there was a lot of abilities that I guess were very unbalanced. Like, heroes were very powerful, but that made it fun and easy, because if you grabbed a hero pickup, you didn't really have to try much to dominate people. You know, like, you could just go into a hallway as Luke and just slash through an entire team of people and get like half a dozen kills, maybe more. So you know, it definitely was a lot more casual, but I think that's what made it more fun, was just, you didn't really have to try, and you could easily goof around more. Anyway, I just think I'm going to keep this one nice and short. I just kind of felt like making a post to kind of show what my recent experience revisiting Battlefront 2 was, and what my thoughts are on the state of the game at the minute, because it just seems like it's on a downhill slope. Oh yeah, and also I did it to let you know that I'm not dead. That's why I posted this. I'm still alive. Hello. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Battlefront 2's condition in the comments, because I'd like to see from more regular players, I guess, who still plays it you know, most days, or, you know, at least a couple of times a week, which is, you know, if they've noticed a trend in things going downhill, or if it's sort of just stagnated, staying how it is for a long time. It'd just be interesting to find out, because obviously there's no support for the game anymore, so it's literally up to the player base, and the player base is very toxic from what I can see. Anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. See ya.